Well, Siddig Ibrahim is the head of UNICEF's Western Regional Office. Thank you for joining us. So what are your teams telling you about the current situation?
Thank you very much for having me. Not just the team telling me, in fact, I was out in the field myself. Yesterday, I visited a number of villages, and I have seen the level of the devastation that the communities in these villages are going through. Just to describe it very briefly, this is practically, and in, let me say, real sense, the village is completely wiped down to the ground. There are no buildings standing. The only exception in one village I have seen, there was a health center that has been maybe constructed like 15, 20 years ago from concrete and hard brick. It's completely, let me say, cracked. The building is not usable, very dangerous for anybody to walk inside. Looking at the school, again, the school is completely wiped. It's on the ground. It's made of local material by the community efforts. They built it for their children. Everything is completely disappeared. The houses, absolutely nothing is standing. The efforts of the rescuers actually still, as of yesterday and also today, my team has reported, they're still digging under the rubble, trying to rescue and find bodies of their relatives. Almost every household in those villages have actually lost, some of them 6, 7, 8 members of their families. And I met one young man who's in the, let me say, late 20s. I asked him, he told me nobody has left from his family. He's the only one remaining. And the striking thing that I also noticed, which is very, very hard to actually come to terms with, you look at all faces of all the people in all the villages that I visited, there is a very high level of trauma and shock. People still have not comprehended. I went yesterday, Sunday, the earthquake happened on Saturday, very high level of trauma and shock. People are still trying to digest and absorb what has happened to them. So it's complete loss of property, assets, and so forth. Yes.
So incredibly hard to come to terms with. Considering the worst affected areas, I mean, what would you say the biggest challenge is then for aid agencies like yours to get help through, not just to rebuild those structures and those homes, but to help the people come to terms with that trauma?
I think that the major challenge is how can we restore and provide the services that previously we were providing and supporting those communities, like health, nutrition, water, sanitation, getting the schools to keep running, and the children continue their education. The child protection services, like the psychosocial support, the child-friendly spaces for people to have a space to play and to engage and interact with other children. These are for us the major challenges, including also getting people back to their livelihood. This is an agrarian community. They have lost quite considerable of their livelihood. How can we get all of these people back? The shelter issue, getting their houses so that they can have shelter. Let us remember, in Afghanistan, the winter is approaching, and I think by the end of this month, the temperature will be in the minus. And how can these people survive? They need blankets, they need heating material. They need food, and all these essential survival elements that we need to make sure we provide. The challenge is coming, the remoteness of the area, very poor roads, network is very erratic and very poor, and became bad during this earthquake. Yes, so please go ahead.
A lot of work to be done. We're out of time. I'm terribly sorry. Siddig Ibrahim, thank you very much, though, for your insight. Siddig Ibrahim from UNICEF.